Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 10 of Jesse Tree. I'm your host, Isaiah, and today's show is about Jacob's son, Joseph. Let's get started. Jacob, who we learned about yesterday, becomes the father of 12 sons. Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob and the first son of his most favored wife, Rachel. Now, Jacob may have loved Joseph a little too much because a lot of jealousy grew in the household with the other brothers. Jacob had made an ornate robe for Joseph, and it was obvious to his brothers that their father loved Joseph more than them. The hatred and jealousy of Joseph grew so much that the brothers actually plotted to kill Joseph in the wilderness. Well, thankfully, the oldest brother, Reuben, objected to killing Joseph. So instead, plan B was to throw Joseph into a cistern, and eventually the other brothers sell Joseph into slavery. Jacob is deceived by his sons and is told that Joseph has been killed by wild beasts, and Jacob is completely broken by this news. Joseph is sold to a man named Potiphar and excels in his duties, becoming one of Potiphar's most trusted servants, put in charge of his household. During his time with Potiphar, Potiphar's wife attempted to seduce Joseph, and Joseph refused her multiple times. Potiphar's wife makes false claims about Joseph that lands him in prison. And even in prison, God continues to bless Joseph, giving him the ability to interpret two of his fellow prisoners' dreams, including that of Pharaoh's personal cupbearer. Because of this, Joseph is eventually brought from prison to one day stand before a distressed Pharaoh who was looking for someone to interpret a troubling dream he had had. Joseph is able to interpret this dream, which leads to Pharaoh putting Joseph as a ruler in Egypt, second only to Pharaoh. Joseph was in charge of storing up food during the years of plenty and selling it to Egyptians and foreigners during the years of famine. Eventually, famine strikes the household of Jacob, and Joseph's brothers are sent to Egypt in search for food. Who do they encounter when they arrive to Egypt? None other than Joseph. Today's scripture comes from Genesis chapter 50, verses 19 through 21. These verses come at the end of Joseph's story. And there's so much that happens before this, including the death of Jacob, that we don't have time to talk about today. But I want to highlight Joseph's ability to forgive his brothers for their actions. But Joseph said to them, "Don't be afraid. Am I in the place of God? You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. So then, don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your children." And he reassured them and spoke kindly to them. Instead of revenge, Joseph chose to forgive and help his brothers. He knew that God had been with them through everything, and that God was using this hardship in Joseph's life to do good things. Here are some discussion questions you can talk through with your children today. For your preschool kids, ask, who was Joseph's father, and how many brothers did he have? Why were Joseph's brothers jealous of him? And what happened to Joseph after he was sold into slavery? For your elementary age kids, ask, how do you think Joseph felt when his brothers betrayed him? What do you think helped Joseph stay faithful to God, even when bad things happened? Have you ever felt jealous of someone like Joseph's brothers did? What happened? Have you ever had to forgive someone who hurt you? How did you feel about that? For your middle and high school students, why do you think Joseph chose to forgive his brothers instead of getting revenge? Joseph's story shows that God can turn hard times into something good. Can you think of a time in your life when something hard turned out to be a blessing? If you're looking for scripture references that could help take your discussion even deeper, be sure to check these out: Romans 8:28 and Acts 3:13 through 15. Joseph chose forgiveness over revenge. He saw that God used everything, even the bad parts of his life, to bring about something good to save many people. When Jesus came to earth, some people hated him and wanted to hurt him. They arrested him, lied about him, and even killed him on a cross. It looked like the worst thing ever. But what did God do? He turned it into something good. God used what people meant for harm to bring about salvation for the whole world. Well, thank you for joining me for today's episode. Tomorrow we'll be talking about Moses in Deuteronomy chapter 5. Until then, take a few minutes today and let us know that you're on this Jesse Tree journey with us. Just go to fmaryville.org/jessetree and hit the button that says we are participating. You can also give us feedback on the show by leaving us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. For our YouTube viewers, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And finally, if you have any questions or would like to share your experience with us, please feel free to email us at family@fmaryville.org. Parents, I'm praying for you as you're leading your family on this Jesse Tree journey today. Have a great time of worship, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 11.